Hello everyone, welcome to Beta Vanguard, and today I will be showing you my Dark Irregulars Scharhot deck profile. This is going to be my first video on the channel, um, and this is a deck I recently picked up because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy decks that play like Excel decks but aren't actually Excel decks, and this is one of the decks that I grew to like. Here is my deck profile. So let's start. So first and foremost, I run 3 Scharhot Vampir. He's the boss unit of the deck. His skill at the beginning of battle phase, all of your front row get 1k for each card in your soul. So everything just becomes big. Then next is when it attacks, counterblast 1, stand one of your rear guards, and if you have 13 or more cards in souls, stand 2 instead of 1. So basically multi-attack. Um, I really like this card because first and foremost, it's multi-attack again. I like Excel deck. I like decks that play like Excel but aren't really Excel. And another thing is that he puts on a lot of pressure, especially with I do run the Amon engine here. So with Amon, you first ride Amon, you get a lot of soul, which is really nice and gets the hit numbers. Next, so for next grade 3, already talked about him. I run 3 copies of Demon World Marquis Amon. Um, Arguably, I think as of right now, he's the best Dark Irregulars card. I would argue he's even better than Shaharot because Shaharot, yes, has big numbers and multi attack. Amon just gives control. Um, Also one of the reasons why I like this deck is my main clan is Mega Colony, and Amon just feels like a Mega Colony card to me from time to time with the control that it gives. With its first skill, put a card from your rear guard, hand, and drop zone to the soul. Then your opponent chooses 2 cards from each rear guard, hand, and drop. So again, by the way, the skill is mandatory. So if they do have cards to put in soul, they have to put cards in soul. Then if they did not put a total of 6 cards, Vanguard gets +1 drive. That's the I really like it because it has a control aspect. Kind of reminds me of Mega Colony, where you just minus your opponent like there's no tomorrow. Specifically Giraffa, because Giraffa is my favorite Mega Colony card. Then during your turn, second skill is during your turn gets +5k for every 6 cards in your soul. Then if it's on Vanguard, gets +10k instead. So also big beater on the Shaharot turn. Call him to rear guard. Then you have plus Shaharot's power around a 40-50k beater depending. Then its third skill, which interacts with your opponent. Vanguard skill, it gets 1 crit for every 6 cards in your opponent's soul. So if you're up against another clan that kinda just keeps their soul, doesn't really use it, Amon's just gonna get bigger and bigger. And that's another reason why I really like Amon. Um, Again, I think best DI card as of right now. Then next, I run 2 Hope on Dump. Um, I run the 2 Hope on Dump because of its guard restrict. So its skill, Vanguard or Rear Guard when placed if your soul has 20 or more cards until end of turn when your opponent would call from hand. He or she must call a card with a original shield of 20. So basically, any card that they place that doesn't have a 20k shield, yeah, I know. They're not gonna be able to put it to Guardian. Again, this is a finisher, so this plus Shaharot or Amon, depending on who you're on, is just so broken. Because if your opponent doesn't run any of the old heals, just goodbye guarding. So next, the MVP of the other MVP of the deck, I run 4 copies of Number of Terror. So Number of Terror is a very good card. With its skill, when placed, if your soul has 10 or more card on rearguard or guardian, when it's placed, it gets plus 10k plus 10k power and plus 10k shield if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more. So it's basically a grade 1. Then when it attacks when it attacks a vanguard, if your soul has 10 or more cards, put a rear guard to soul draw 2, basically shove 1 in draw 2. So it's just pluses you a lot. So you can have 2 of this restand both with Shaharot, and that's already drawing about 8 cards plus twin drive, so that's like plus 10. That's 10 cards in hand. Well, that's it for my grade 3s. Moving on to the grade 2s, I run 4 Amon's follower, Ron Jilin. Ron Jilin is your beater. There's another beater if on Shaharot if your opponent does run a deck that can soul blast a lot. So its first skill, when it's placed on Vanguard or your guard, soul charge 1. Then choose up to your opponent chooses 1 card from his or her hand and puts it into their soul. If they did not, you soul charge it. So basically, if you it forces your opponent to put a card from their hand to soul, and if they don't, you soul charge 1 again. So basically, it's a soul charge 2. Then its continuous skill, rear guard and guardian, if your opponent has 6 or less cards in their soul, gets plus 10k plus 10k power plus 10k shield, so it's a 15k guard. And it's a 19k attacker with again with Shaharot, becomes really big. So this is why I think it's beater number 2. Next, around 4, the Monted Executioner. So the Monted skill, when placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, counterblast 1, soul charge 3. Then, if 1 or more trigger were put, draw card. So basically, soul charge and with a potential draw. Then on Vanguard, when it attacks a grade 2 or greater unit, gets plus 5k till end of battle. So basically, it's a 14k on Vanguard if it's attacking a grade 2 if you're going second. But you usually just run him for its first skill. So last for my grade 2 lineups, 2 copies of Phantasma Executioner. Retire itself, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and soul charge 2. So I have gone into situations where my opponent only has 2 rear guards and I'm on Amon, retire itself, then your opponent, you force yourself to get the extra drive. That's why I run this. It's really nice, and it's also soul charge 2. So after that, next is my grade 1. So for grade 1s, I run 3 copies of the grade 3 searcher, very generic. 1 place from hand, check top 5, grab a grade 3, then second skill. That's second skill. Then then its first skill, if 1 or more cards were put in soul, gets plus 5. Again, another beater if ever you don't have anything for Shaharot, but usually you would. Then this is from the new clan collection. I run 4 copies of Amon's follower, Bol. I can't pronounce the first name, sorry. So this just makes all of your Amon units hella big, right? It just makes them somewhat unguardable. I had this one time when I had the grade 2. What's his name again? Wait, let me just double check. Ron Jilin. I had a Ron Jilin that reached 62k with 2 of these, and it's just stupid. So the skill I'm talking about is its second skill is like rest itself, so charge 1, choose one of your units with Amon in its card name, and it gets plus 1k for each card in soul. So again, makes them become beefy. Then its first skill is when it's placed on Vanguard, look at the top 7. Search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 with Amon in its card name. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. It's basically like Takehime. If you don't know who Takehime is the searcher for Yasui. Then next, 4 copies of Punjilin. Punjilin is here because it lets you build up soul early. So its skill is put a card from your hand to soul. Draw a card. Your opponent chooses a card from their hand, puts it into there. So basically you mirror your opponent. You put one to soul draw one. Your opponent puts one to soul draw one. Then its second skill at the beginning of your battle phase. If your opponent has six or more cards in soul charge one. If you soul charge, choose one of your units and gets plus 5k. Gives power. And that's really it. Really here for the first skill. Then starter. Normal starter. When ready upon. If your opponent's grade 1 or greater, get a quick shield at the hand. Nothing really special. Then for trigger lineup, two draw PGs. Because you do soul charge and draw a lot in this deck, so you're gonna deck yourself out. Then two sentinel crits. For more pressure, especially on the Charlotte turn, you can give you the crit to the rear guards and just restand them. Then next, I run another 8 crits. And then, last but not least, I run 4 grade 3 heal because Eldona's already out. So Luward's just gonna first turn drag driver you. You're kinda screwed. So running 4 heal guardians is, I think, the better option here. So that's it for my Shaharot deck profile today. Next deck profile would be on my Ura list. I'm just waiting for some of my cards to arrive, and when they do arrive, I will be making that deck profile because again, I do love my Mega Colony. I do love my Ura Giraffa. So thanks guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.